What's up, everybody? Scotty White, World Combat Sports. Hey, give me a minute. I'll be going live. We're in the ring with Christine. She's a boxing head, cut woman. Been associated with the sport for quite some time. So it's a pleasure to go live with her, to chat it up and have some boxing dialogue about the Tyson Fury bout and Deontay Wilder. Be sure to share the video. I appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in. Hey, what's going on?
Hi, how are you, Scotty?
I'm cool. In the ring with Christine. Hello, everyone. Scotty White, World Combat Sports. I have the pleasure of speaking with In the Ring with Christine for the first time. How did the weekend go?
Oh my gosh, the weekend was great. It was really busy, but it was really good. Yeah, so as I had told you before, we had a tournament, we had a smoker, and of course the big fight too. So we were pretty busy. We really were, but everything went well.
Let's talk about how your smoker went over there in Texas.
Okay,
How did
okay,
it all
yeah.
go?
Everything went well. We took three guys, and it was just a 1 day. So it started at 7 p.m. and we didn't get out till 11. So I was in Fort Worth, and a friend of mine is like, you know what, come over and watch the fights. And I'm like, I'm gonna miss it. I remember like our second guy was about to get in the ring, and my friend's like, don't worry, I want to record the fight. And they're about to walk in, and I was just like, But so she recorded the fight. It's just a small group we hang out with. It's some other media people, some photographers, a promoter, and some other people. And so as soon as we were finished with our three guys, we jumped in the car. We raced over there back to Dallas, and we got there just in time. It was over actually. And I was like, don't anybody say anything to me. I did not get on Facebook. I did not get on any social media. I did not want to know. But I heard somebody say, oh my gosh, it was so controversial. And I was like, so we watched it, and yes, it was. Yes, it was, needless to say.
So let's talk
But
about
the
the
smoker
fight.
was great. We put three guys in, and three guys won, so I'm happy.
Oh, that's what's up. And congratulations to those pugilists that went in there, and
Yes.
contended in the square. That's what's up.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Let's talk about the granddaughter, the big fight that went down between Deontay Wilder and
Oh
Tyson
my
Fury.
gosh.
You know what I'm saying? It was a controversial ending. So I definitely want to hear your dialogue and perspective on what you thought about the bout, and we can exchange some ideas and
Okay.
opinions.
Definitely. Fury won in my eyes. He really did. I will give him the sixth round, and then obviously, we have to give him I'm sorry, Wilder the sixth round, and then obviously we had to give him the two knockdowns. But that's all I gave him, and honestly, I was being generous when I gave him the sixth round. I think Fury went in there and he totally dominated the fight. I think Wilder didn't know what to expect. And I had kind of talked a little bit before, and I knew that Fury had the reach advantage and he was tall, but I was really worried about the weight loss because I didn't know how it was going to affect him. It didn't affect him at all. He was moving like a lightweight. The way, his agility, his head movement, the way he was controlling the ring, I was so impressed by him. And even his attitude. Yeah, he's still funny and a clown and everything, but he was calm. He was cool. I think he controlled all the action, and it's like Wilder didn't know what to do with him. He didn't know what to do with him. He thought he was going to go in there, that one shot was going to knock him out, and it was going to be over. And then when he got up from that second knockdown, Wilder's eyes, you could just see he was like, oh snap, who is this? It was crazy. What was your take? What were you thinking during the fight? Were you surprised, or what did you think about the whole situation?
Well, first of all, I watched the fight on mute, okay, like I do most of the fights. And I seen Deontay Wilder, doing what Deontay Wilder does. Like I was going for Deontay Wilder. I've been a Deontay Wilder fan. But also,
Yes.
I caught him out of the straight down the middle, and keep it. I like Fury. I like his tenacity and what he brings to the sport of boxing. In the bout though, I didn't see Fury dominating. Okay, when you look at the total punches landed, Deontay was 71 out of 430, and Fury was 84 out of 327. So Deontay threw more, but Fury was more accurate. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it in that perspective. It looked good in a lot of ways because Fury's turnover on his punches, I like that. I like the way he was able to punch on the, box on the inside. Deontay doesn't know how to box on the inside. He doesn't know how to throw combinations. He was loading up
Yeah.
on the right hand too much. I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, Deontay's skill set is never going to improve, ever.
Right.
They just have to polish up what he already has.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And there was some spots in there that Deontay did more work than people give him credit for. But I did see Fury, if it's going to a decision, I saw him winning. But I also feel that the knockdown was flawed and controversial too. I didn't think the referee did his job, his due diligence.
And see, and I saw a lot of that on social media too, and I was really like, I was going for Wilder. I thought that he was gonna win, like I really did, but I didn't see that. I didn't see where the ref was giving him more of a count. I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to go back. I know they're gonna show it again. I think December 8th or 10th or something, and I want to rewatch it and look at that and pay attention to that. A friend of mine had posted, I mean the count, but it was just a snapshot of both, and it didn't look. But then they said he was counting slowly or something like that. But how you're talking about Wilder was throwing more shots and landing more. I saw a lot of Wilder shots not landing. I mean, he was punching in the air and he missed so many shots. I
No,
don't know
those
if
are
you
not my
noticed that.
stats, Christine. Those are not my stats. Those are final stats from the fight.
Yeah,
Right?
right,
Wilder landed 71 out of 430. So he threw more than Fury, 327. Fury landed a total of 84 out of 327. So Wilder threw more, but he wasn't as accurate as Fury. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right, right.
Even the jabs, Fury only out jabbed him by 5 jabs. Wilder landed 40 out of 328 or something like that. And I mean 248, and Fury landed 223. I mean
Who
threw
took these
223, but
steps?
only landed 446.
Okay. Huh. Very
So it really
interesting.
wasn't me saying that Deontay landed. I'm saying from what he did, he was scoring when he had to, but I believe people was rooting for Fury so much to the point where they kind of just discarded everything Deontay Wilder was doing. Deontay was missing a hell of a lot, a
Yeah, he
hell of a lot.
was. He was. And I was pretty neutral. I just really thought it was going to be a landslide, with Wilder. I really did. Because like I said, I was really concerned about the weight loss with Fury and everything that he had gone through. I feel for him, everything that he went through in his past, the drug addiction, the drinking, and the depression. So yeah, I love the underdog, but I really didn't think that he was going to be able to bring himself up. I really didn't. And so I was like, yeah, this is going to be a landslide. So I wasn't really, I don't know, going for him so much or didn't think he was really going to pull it out. So I thought that I was looking at it from a perspective where it was, I don't know, I wasn't like going for him. So I thought that whenever I saw Fury winning, I think that I was being pretty fair. Like I think that it was pretty obvious to me. It was pretty clear, that he was dominating. I really do. I
I,
don't
I
know.
you know, I thought Deontay Wilder would finish Fury in the ninth round. That was my prediction because I felt
Yeah,
that at that point, Fury's weight loss would kind of hinder him a little bit, which
I
it
did
did.
too.
That's why he
I
was caught. That's why he
Yeah.
was caught in the fifth round. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you see Andre Ward had posted on Twitter that, he just really didn't feel like there was going to be a rematch? I respect and love him. I think he's amazing, but it doesn't make sense not to have a rematch. And it's like at this point in their career, it's not even about, titles and belts. It's about the money, and there's too much money to be made, from the promoters on and all around. What do you think about that?
I heard this the son of God, Andre Ward, as much as I respect him. But I'm like, why would they run away from a rematch? Okay, look at it this way. They tried Eddie Hearns and Deontay Wilder to make this fight, and it was such a
Yeah.
debacle, right? So what's an
Right.
easy fight with the money? Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Run it back. 5 months, 5 months from now, run it back. Forget
Yeah.
about Anthony Joshua. Have Anthony Joshua fight Dillian White or Jarrell
Right.
Miller or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But for Andre Ward to come and say it may never be a rematch, I'm not sure if he's being political or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? He had a little bit more to drink.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. When he's, I mean, like I said, I respect him, and he's amazing. But when he said that, I was just kind of like, I don't agree. And because I mean, think about it. Who else really can Wilder fight right now? And it's like that was his first pay-per-view. People will pay again for a rematch. And I mean, we know that right now. I don't believe Anthony Joshua is gonna fight him. I mean, they couldn't agree on the money. I mean, AJ is the star, and Wilder wants to be the star. In their minds, they're both the star, but you know what I'm saying? They're not going to agree on the money. It's not going to happen anytime soon if it happens. So, I
Hey,
mean, who
Chris,
else would we pay for?
and that's a good point. Check this out, Christine. This is the way I see it. Like, I don't see the Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua happening because every time you
Yeah,
hear Joshua mention Deontay Wilder, he says, if all the fine details,
exactly.
fantasies
We
trump
know what that
reality.
means.
Exactly. They're going to make it difficult for Deontay Wilder. So why not get a
Yes.
boxing fans another rematch, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, amongst the heavyweights and let
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearns do what they do because we
Most
really don't
definitely.
want to see this debacle. Eddie Hearns attempted to force Wilder to sign a bout for April 2019 prior to December 1st. So he wanted
Interesting.
Deontay Wilder to sign this bout to face Anthony Joshua, and the deadline was December 1st, and Team Wilder said no. But
Hmm.
I look at it this way, Christine. I think Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury can still defeat Anthony Joshua.
Hmm. And and the thing is too is that Anthony doesn't have to come here and fight. He doesn't ever have to step on American soil and fight. He's got his fans over there. He's making his money. I mean, Wilder needs him more than Anthony needs Wilder. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, all the fine details and everything. We know what he's talking about. It's the money too. So I don't see that happening. So the rematch is the only thing that can happen. And I don't know. We talked about this before too. Twitter. I'm just getting to learn Twitter, but I don't know. I mean, Clarissa Shields almost broke Twitter with her comment. Did you see that?
Yeah, you know what? Carissa can say what the hell she want to say, and she can be extremely ex parte whenever she chooses to. She's outspoken anyway, but that ain't isn't the case.
Yes.
When it comes to boxing, Deontay Wilder was outboxed. With his
Yes.
depleted skill set, he did what he had to do. He's not an easy go. I'm telling people, if he's so depleted in fundamentals, then defeat him definitively. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury was knocked down twice. If he
Yes.
wouldn't have had those knockdowns, WBC champion changes hands.
Oh yeah, for sure. Most definitely. Most definitely. And still, even with those knockdowns, in my opinion, he won. He won hands down. But I tell you what, I was so impressed with that second knockdown. I mean, his head hit that canvas, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's out. Like he's not getting up. I mean, from the angle that I saw, like I thought his eyes were closed, and I was just like, he's not getting up. And then when he just like, there's been a lot of memes, but when he just like rose up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And he jumped up like nothing. But a point that I made to some people is like whenever you get knocked down like that, you need to take your time. You don't want to jump up quickly because you don't have everything together. and then you're not going to do as well. So he took his time, which was very smart. You know, he took his time. He didn't want to jump up and he didn't want to be off balance. He wanted to make sure that he could get as much of his, head together. And that's what he did. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know, he had to take his time. If he
Hey,
would
I
have just
commend.
jumped up, what were you going to say?
Hey, Tyson
Yeah, if he would have
Fury.
just jumped up, he would have been down again. I mean, we instruct our guys to do that. Take your time, hold when you need to hold. On that first knockdown, I was like, and actually the first knockdown, if you go back and you look at it, like he was hit in the back of the head twice, which is so dangerous. I mean, most guys today that are getting, and I mean, yeah, it was his fault, he put his head down, but most guys that are injured or losing their lives is because they're getting hit in the back of the head. It's so dangerous. And that was the first knockdown. I wish he would have held on longer. I wish there were times when he would have held on longer. I mean, that's what you instruct your guys to do. If you're dizzy, if you don't have your legs, hold on. You know, do what you got to do.
And Christine, those are solid points. I just know when the referee says if a fighter's in the flow of punching and you duck your head, where the punches land, the fighter cannot pull the
No,
shot. So
no,
that's
you're
what I
right.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what
No,
I
no,
think.
no. You're right. It was his fault. It was his fault. He put his head down. He did. He did. It definitely was his fault. I mean, he was down, fair and
Well,
square.
what do you think about the referee? This is my take on a couple of points with the referee kind of screwed up the second knockdown. Per the ABC, right? Association Boxing Commission, the referee's supposed to keep one arm's length. You know what I'm saying? The referee was on his knees right in front of Tyson Fury's face. A lot of people are saying, well, the referee's supposed to wait till you go to the neutral corner. That isn't
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
It isn't true. He points to the deck and says a knockdown, and the timekeeper starts the count. It doesn't matter if the fighter's in the neutral corner or not. The count is already started. So when the referee picked up with Tyson Fury, he was already in the count. But when he went to his knees, he kind of gave Tyson Fury more time. So when Tyson Fury stood up and put his hands on the rest, that doesn't supposed to happen.
So yeah, so I was trying to remember. So correct me if I'm wrong. So the timekeeper started, and Wilder was not in the neutral corner. So then he stops the count, and then he has Wilder go into the corner. Is that correct? And then he started the counts again. Is that how it went?
No, the referee never stops the count. Once the referee points to the canvas, any part of the body other than the soul touches the
Yeah,
canvas, the timekeeper starts the count regardless. So the only thing the referee does is checks over there if he's telling the fighter to go to the neutral corner. He just checks the timekeeper. You're on five.
right.
Then
No,
he
no, I
puts five.
understand that, but I was saying in this situation, what did he do? What I'm trying to remember, what did he do that you're questioning? Did he stop the timekeeper and to make sure Wilder was in the corner? I was trying to remember what he
No, he
did that
didn't
was
stop the timekeeper. His count was slower than it should be because he
okay.
himself paid too much attention to Fury being knocked out cold. Because when Fury hit the canvas, his eyes rolled back in his head. So the
Yep.
referee supposed to maintain one arm's distance from the fighter, but this referee was on his knees and he kind of stopped the count just a little bit in the process of him counting to 10. Now, of course, Tyson Fury, if you look at the media, he rose up on the count of 10. Why? Because the referee count was a little bit slower than it should be.
Okay. I have to go back and look at that because also, do you think that the Wilder fans are like looking too much for something, or do you think that that is a legitimate complaint that needs to be investigated?
That's boxing, Christine. That's boxing. Oh, if you look at, just say you look at Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. Muhammad Ali wasn't in the neutral corner when the referee started counting George Foreman in the eighth round. Look at Canelo when he knocked out James Kirkland. The referee,
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
referee didn't wait till Canelo was in the neutral corner. Or Lomachenko, Jorge Linares.
Yeah. No, you're
The, the
right. You're
fighter,
right.
the scoring fighter does not have to be in the neutral corner for the referee to start the fight. The timekeeper starts it anyway. So Wilder, boxing wise, I tell everybody, he lost. When you come to a boxing, punch for punch, from the first to the 12th round, I thought he was outscored. Now, if somebody want to be biased like Carissa Shields or whatever, I invite her on to prove how she felt that Wilder won the bout. I would
Yeah.
more than appreciate her to come on here and explain to me outside of the knockdown, how do you foresee? How did you
Right.
break it? You're a fighter.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious too. I'm definitely curious too. Yeah.
You know, look at it this way, Christine. Some of these fighters, they may want attention. I don't know, but when you come over here and say Deontay won 4 rounds, like you know what I'm saying, some outrageous, I'm
Right.
like, okay, prove it to me. I
Yeah.
just want you to prove
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Explain how. Yeah. Don't just put it out there. Explain how. Because I'm curious to know too. Yeah. Most definitely. You
I
know,
like
and
Deontay Wilder, but he hasn't evolved his skill set, Christine. Like,
no,
oh my God,
it's just
it was
one
so
shot.
ugly.
It's just a one shot. You know, and a lot of those punches were slaps. You know, I mean, you got to turn your punches over. You know, they're slaps. He's very strong. You know, and everything. Yes, granted, but he hasn't evolved. He hasn't. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what goes on in camp. I'm not sure.
I heard you mention earlier about Fury's footwork. I was impressed, man. Six
Yes.
seven, 256. Fury's
Yes.
footwork was
Yes.
amazing.
Oh,
But
I
I
know.
give Deontay Wilder credit. Some of his most beautiful work is in the 12th round when he did knock Fury down.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the only time I saw him turn over a
Right.
punch. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we've got to give him credit. I mean, we got to give credit to anybody who steps in the ring. You know, they have all my respect, most definitely. They really do. You know, and then also, you know, we've seen Fury act crazy, but I was so impressed. I mean, I think I read he had like 8,000 to 10,000 fans that traveled, you know, to go see him. And he said he told his mom and his brothers and everybody, just after they called, you know, the decision, just calm down, it's okay. You know, they could have tore that whole place up. They're known for doing stuff like that. And I don't, he's had such a change, like an enlightening, and I was impressed by that as well, because we've seen him act a little cray cray, you know. He handled it well. I think that and to me that was a sign that there was going to be a rematch, because neither one of them were just so upset about the draw decision. It was like, to me that was like, okay, there's definitely, I think if Wilder genuinely thought that he won, I think he would have been a little ticked off, my opinion, about the draw.
Well, I think in Wilder's, you know, his overall, you know, performance, he should be happy with a draw. I'm not going to get on here because I talk so much about Wilder and what it is. I call it for what I see it. When it comes down to pure boxing, throwing and shooting combinations really nice. Wilder, I didn't see him throwing combinations on the inside. He was just loading up on that right hand, and
Yeah,
at times it
he
was
was looking for
almost
that knockout.
guaranteed.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
looking for that knockout. He just wanted to just knock him out. And he almost did, you know.
yeah.
He was looking for that one shot.
But if he would have worked himself up just a little bit more with some nice jabs
Jabs,
and,
yes.
you know, body
Yes.
work,
I
then Fury
agree.
may have not had all that energy to get off the canvas.
Yeah, a few more combinations, you know. Touch the body a little bit. I mean, the body was right there. The guy's freaking tall as heck, you know. The body was right there. You know, touch the body a little bit, you know, get inside a little bit, because he is so long and you have to get inside, you know, and touch the body a little bit, start breaking it down, and then I think it might have been a different outcome. But I don't know. I don't know what what the camp was like. You know, we don't know what he who he was sparring with, or what the training was like. And then I
Well,
heard,
Fury's camp is much better than Deontay. He had Freddie Roach in there first and foremost.
yeah,
JD's is not a Freddie Roach. Let's be clear on
right.
that. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, yeah, that's for sure. And I forget what round it was, and they were telling him, you know, they were telling Wilder, you know, you're winning, and I'm just like, dude, don't give him that false confidence. He needs to step it up. Give him some tools. Tell him what he needs to do. You know.
Who said he was winning?
So one of the guys
Montgomery?
told him, yeah, and I'm just like, give him something. Give him some tools. Give him some instruction. You know, give him some instruction. He's, you know, but that's the job of the corner. You know, not giving him false hope. You know, I don't know, but that's just what I think.
Yeah, boxing pretty much did a Triple G and Canelo. Serious. Alejandro Rochin, the one that scored that bout for Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Um, You know, basically, Frank Warren said they need to teach Mexicans how to judge. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying? And
I was like, dude, you're making us look bad.
yeah, so Frank Warren, being that position he's in, he can make that comment and not worry about the repercussions.
Exactly. He can say what he wants.
Yep.
Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. It really was. I'm reading some of these comments.
Yeah, Justin Austin said Fury is happy because he knows he won, and people that matter know that may be bad for Wilder. Fury may get better opportunities in the future. Wilder is happy because he got his belt. I think with Wilder, the U.S. fans wasn't really supporting him going into the fight. Now, it doesn't matter if Fury had thousands of his countrymen come over there to the Staples Center. What I didn't like was everybody saying, oh, for Fury's blood. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't they
Can you
want to
repeat
support
that?
Fury?
Repeat that. I'm sorry.
Okay, I understand that Tyson Fury had thousands of countrymen from the UK come over to support him, and that has
Right.
happened before. But
Yes.
I believe, you know, I didn't like the fact that the fans that was here in the U.S. they was probably blending in with the UK fans to also
Right.
support Fury. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when it comes down to it, Deontay doesn't have a lot of fans just wholeheartedly supporting him because of his
Right.
technique.
That's true. You're right.
His technique is just bad.
Yeah, we have a bad reputation of not like really supporting our own. We really do. It's like other countries, they are just like die hard about supporting their own, and we're not. Because, but then again, also, I mean, we also separate here in the U.S. You know, as far as religion and race too, and other countries don't do that. It's like, no, I'm, you know, Mexican, or I'm Italian, or I'm European, and they stand together. And here in the U.S., we don't do that. You know, we try to have all these categories, and it's a shame. You know, we need to come together. We need to look at other countries and see how they back their own up, and we need to do the same thing. And I mean, I agree with that. You know, I don't know what has to happen.
Well, it's been like that for a long time, Christine. You know how
It
that goes.
has, it has. I know. We have to be the change. We do. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I look at it this way. I hope they set a rematch sometime in about 5 months or so. Put another camp in.
Me
But
too.
you know, who do you think will take it in the rematch?
You know, I think that it will be the same unless Wilder maybe makes some changes in his camp. You know, he's going to have to make some changes. I mean, he needs some new eyes. He needs somebody that sees something differently and that can show him some different things, or it's going to be the same thing, in my opinion. You know, he's got to make some different moves. He's got to put some better combinations together. He's got to get on the inside. He's got to touch that body. You know, he's got to start breaking it down. I mean, that's my opinion.
And that's a solid opinion, Christine. He does need to change it up. And I just think Deontay, he kind of does things his own way. I'm just assuming. You know, the
Yeah.
way he hasn't evolved, he kind of doing things his own way in training camp, and they just
Yeah.
allowing him to be his own person.
Yes. You
There's
know,
two
the
things,
thing
hey,
is
Christine, right quick. There's two things I don't think Deontay Wilder does. I don't think he jump ropes, and it's proven that he doesn't complete road work. His
see,
foot,
that's not
his
good.
foot coordination is terrible.
And see, those are two very important things. And the thing is, too, that a lot of these guys, they get so high up there and they just have these yes men around them. You know, there's people are so afraid to say, hey, you need to go do this or you need to stop doing this because they don't want to be cut from the team or they don't want to
Yeah,
whatever, you know, and that's not good. Once you get to that level to where you can't tell, you know, your fighter or anything, it's that's not good. You know, they need to listen to their trainers, their managers, whatever, you know, because then things like this happen. If he's not jump roping and he's not doing his road work, that's not good. That's not good at
well,
all.
he said
Maybe
he
that's why
doesn't
he couldn't throw
run.
combinations. Who knows?
Yeah, he doesn't run. He said that publicly.
That's
Torres
horrible.
Torres Savage said Wilder received 4 million, Fury got 3 million. Um,
Wow.
you know,
And we,
with that being the way it is, I'm not sure how he's going to negotiate the A side with Anthony Joshua. Anthony is probably making minimal 10 million, I believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So this
Yeah.
4 million is very low if you're
Oh
talking
yeah.
about going in with Anthony Joshua.
Well, and you read what Fury did with his 3 million. You know, he gave it to the home league. He gave it all away. You know, so it's not about the money for him. You know, it's about being the king of the heavyweight division. So he's going to do whatever he has to do. He's going to run and jump rope, and we saw he lost all that weight and turned his life around. So he's a dangerous man, very dangerous
Well,
man.
who's the king though? Who's the
Huh?
king?
In my eyes, right now, Fury's the king. Yeah.
So you think Fury will go over there and defeat Anthony Joshua? I
Well,
do.
in the U.S. Yeah. You know what? You know, right now, I think he could. I think so.
I don't care if it's in the US or the UK. I think Fury is smart enough if he go
I
over to the
think
UK.
so. Yeah,
Yep.
I think so too. I have to agree with you. I do. Yeah. I mean, they're looking at him like, wow, he was very impressive. Like I said, he moved around like a lightweight. I was like, how can a guy that big move that way? And he showed us. He really did.
Yeah, I was impressed, man. You know, he earned a lot
Me
of
too.
US fans. He did.
He has a whole lot of new fans now. He does, definitely. He really does. He does.
Well, it was great to have you on. I'm not sure what you
Thank
have
you.
going on, but I know you're a busy woman over
I'm at
there.
the gym. I'm at the gym right now.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see
I'm at
all
the
the
gym.
trophies in the background.
Yeah, is it loud? I'm sorry. I was hoping it wasn't going to be too loud.
No, I see all the trophies in the
Oh
background.
yeah, yeah. I'm sitting at my desk. Yeah. I was going to say real quick, did you see that Bud is possibly they're negotiating possibly to fight Amir? Yeah,
First it
I
was
think
Luis Colazo, right? And people was like,
yeah.
why? Why? But
Yeah.
now he's trying to go with Amir Khan, who's begging
Yeah.
for a bout. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
But keep in mind, I mean, both those guys are southpaws. What's that tell you? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Getting ready for
Who do
somebody
you think
else.
take that?
Between between who?
Bud,
Say it.
Bud and Amir Khan.
Well, I mean, Bud is the man. Bud is the man. He has everything right now. He has everything. He's very
Amir
intelligent.
Khan, his hands are quicker than Terrence Crawford's. He has some
You
quick
know
hands.
what? He really is, but he can't take a shot. He
Yeah, he
can't
can't
take a
take a
shot.
shot.
Mm-mm. And Bud can work those angles too. Amir is long and he's very fast, but Bud he can work all angles. He has
Yeah.
everything in his shed in his tool shed, and I'm very impressed by him right now. He's the man, my
So you
opinion.
believe he beats Errol Spence over there in Texas? Come on, you in
Hey, that's my
Texas. You in
hey.
Texas yesterday.
EJ's my guy. EJ's my guy. Hey, let's wait till they make that fight, then I'll come on again and we'll talk about it.
Okay. All right. I got it.
You like that? That's the way I invite myself back on the show.
That's what's up. That's all good.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Hey, thank you. In the ring with Christine. I truly appreciate you stopping by with World
Thank
Combat
you.
Sports. You take it
Thank
easy,
you. Thanks,
Christine.
everybody. Take care.
Take it easy.
Bye. Okay, bye.
Hey, everybody that tuned in, hey, much appreciated. That was In the Ring with Christine. She's over there in Texas. And she just dropped by for us to have a post-fight analysis of the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight. It was one of those situations where the fight ended in controversy. You know, we already know what Deontay Wilder losing the fight, winning the fight, and the controversial knockout. And for those of you that's tuning in, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, I want to go to the knockout because the knockdown in the 12th round was before the actual decision, of course, right? So the fight was still actively in the 12th round. Now this is per the the knockdown mechanics, y'all. Per the ABC Association Boxing Commission. This is not what I'm doing. I'm not just freaking going here telling you my word if it's born or whatever. This is per the rules. Once the fighter, any part other than the sole of his shoe touches the ground, the canvas, the referee point to the canvas for a knockdown and the knockout judge or the timekeeper starts to count. The fighter doesn't have to be in the neutral corner there, fight fans and fighters and aficionados, purists, mainstreamers. He doesn't have to be in the neutral corner. The referee can point, and then he glances over at the knockout judge and he picks up the count. Whatever. Between the time he picks up the count and the 10th, he's supposed on the 8th or 9th ask the fighter, is he or she okay to continue? He's supposed to keep 1 arm's distance from the fighters. This is facts, people. I'm not telling you something I'm fabricating or making up. That's in the ABC. Period. Did that referee keep 1 arm's distance? No, he did not. When Tyson Fury rose to his feet, did he put his hands on the referee? Yes, he did. That's not 1 arm's distance. Also, was the count accurate? I don't think so. I believe the count was a little bit slower than it needed to. But when it boils down to the 1st through 12th round, Deontay Wilder was outboxed clearly by Tyson Fury. Period. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I don't care who. If you feel that you want to come up here and prove that Deontay Wilder and his punch numbers add up to him winning that fight, please get on here. But you know what's distasteful is some of you all are going on here on social media and you was going for Deontay Wilder, and since Tyson Fury put on a performance, you don't even want to say anything good about Deontay Wilder or break down it as boxing analysis. You're just going off Tyson Fury. And one bad thing that happens where people are just looking at the fighter that they want to win instead of looking in between the fighters as they fight. I look at boxing matches I listen to them on mute and I watch the bout. That's just me. But the overall punches thrown, all right, and landed, we're talking about 71 landed for Deontay Wilder out of 430. And Tyson Fury 84 out of 327. Okay? So Deontay Wilder threw more punches, but he wasn't as accurate. And then you look at the total jabs. Deontay Wilder landed 40 out of 248 or something like that. And Tyson Fury landed 46 out of 223. Now, when it comes to power shots, right, Deontay Wilder is the power puncher. But it doesn't mean anything when it comes to boxing. When you get in there with a boxer, you still have to set those power punches up. And when it comes to the power shots, Deontay Wilder landed 31 out of 182. And Tyson Fury landed, I believe it was 38 out of 104. So Tyson Fury was more accurate than Deontay Wilder. Let's get that straight. He was more accurate, and we've seen this play out in the fight. All right? He was more accurate, but Deontay was more active. All right? Accurate versus active. All right? So therefore, when we look at all of it, the more accuracy won the boxing match. Tyson Fury outboxed Deontay Wilder cleanly. I don't give a damn what anybody's sitting up here trying to actually fabricate or create some type of Deontay Wilder's win because you're up here having communication and freaking phone calls from him. Listen to a lot of outlets that communicate with Deontay Wilder, and they're being extremely ex parte. You know what I'm saying? They're being misleading just because they're afraid to lose that position of communication with Deontay Wilder. But facts is, Deontay, whether you like it or not, you was outboxed by Tyson Fury. Point blank, period. I call it the way I see it. I'm not going to sit up here because you're one of my favorite fighters, heavyweights or whatever, and just say, you know what, let me just go against the grain. Let me just go against the grain and basically fragment my integrity. My integrity when it comes to boxing, knowledge-wise, I want it to be respected. And what I've seen in there, Tyson Fury looked phenomenal. For someone who's dropping over 150 stones or whatever, coming in there from what he did, he looked way better than he did against Sefer Seferi. Much better than he did against Francisco Pianetta. But as I give Tyson Fury his credit, I have to give Deontay Wilder his credit. I have to give him his credit. Listen to me. Deontay Wilder, in his state of depleted skill sets and his deficiency that would never, ever be polished up to the point where it will be respected amongst the boxing community. he still went 12 rounds with Tyson Fury and turned his power over in the 12th round. Point blank, people, you have to give this man his just due and his vigilance to basically land that shot, those 1-2 combinations, set it up. He hit him with a right and then knocked him down with a left while he was in the process of falling to the canvas. You have to understand one thing. If you're going to say how poorly Deontay Wilder's skill set is, well, give him credit for not being stopped. Fury landed shots on Deontay Wilder, but he never once even came close to it. Let's just look at it this way. Klitschko wasn't able to do what he did to Tyson Fury. Klitschko wasn't even able to freaking knock down, Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Klitschko didn't do what freaking Deontay Wilder did. So I look at it in that perspective that, yes, he has dilapidated skill set. He has something that will never, ever be polished up to a respectable level that's required of the boxing protocol when you're in the gym training. Ever. Period. But give him credit for making it to the 12th round and turning over his power. Because he was more active than Fury. And yes, I believe him being 212 pounds, he kind of gassed out a little bit. Why? Because he was missing a lot. Fury's movement, it was sensational to watch the sweet signs. You know what I'm saying? It was. He was making Deontay Wilder miss a lot. Those of you that was watching the fight as I did, if you want to get on here and say otherwise, then you know what? I have much more information I can provide to you from the first to the final bell. You know what I'm saying? But no one in their right mind would sit up here and say, well, Deontay Wilder defeated him in a boxing match. Now, do I believe that the knockout should have sustained? I do believe that because it was a lot of areas, per the ABC, per the knockdown mechanics, people, that the referee violated. He is supposed to maintain proximity of one arm's distance. He was on his knees directly in Tyson Fury's face. You do not supposed to be in a fighter's face that close, counting. And also, he kind of manipulated the count a little bit, attempting to attend. You don't supposed to attend to the aid of a fighter. You're supposed to have a clear visual. And for those of you that's on social media saying the referee doesn't start the count until the fighter reaches the neutral corner, I can tell you, you're a lie. Look at Lomachenko, Jorge Linares. Lomachenko knocked down Linares, and he was in the corner right by the knockout. And the ref was already counting as he directed Lomachenko to the far corner. He said, cinco. That's where he put the hand up in Jorge Linares' fight. Look at Muhammad Ali in the 8th round, George Foreman. The referee puts 3 up as Muhammad Ali is strolling back to the far corner. He was already counting. The knockout judge is the one. After the referee points to the canvas for a knockdown, the knockout judge starts to count. And if by chance that referee looks at the scoring fighter, the scoring fighter is the fighter who knocked down his opponent and directs him to that corner. He then checks the count over at the timekeeper or the knockout judge, and he picks up the count. He doesn't just do it blindly and say, okay, I think I'm on 6 or I think I'm on 4. Look at Mayweather when he knocked out Victor Ortiz. Joe Cortez picked up the count. Joe Cortez picked up the count when Mayweather wasn't even in that freaking corner where he's supposed to be yet. Who else? I can go on and on. Canelo when he knocked out James Kirkland. When he knocked down James Kirkland the first time, before Canelo even made it to the corner, he was already 5. There's certain protocols, people, that you have to dig into. The referees, one of the protocols is when 6 through 10, they must use both hands when counting 6 through 10. That's facts. I know this stuff, man. The referee violated some protocol that's, when it comes down to the knockdown mechanics, that a lot of people are going to overlook. But this is old news. This is stuff I keep up abreast and everything. Now, granted, the fight ended the way it is because of boxing. Boxing wants a 2-for-1 special, and I told you all, on my lives, I told you that this may be a draw. Noyola, thanks for dropping in. Massey, appreciate it. Salute to you, Sherry Price. Justin Austin count starts as soon as the ass hits the mat. Justin Austin, true. You know, I know you said ass, but any part other than the sole of the shoe that touches the mat, that's in the ABC. Any part other than the sole of the shoe that touches the canvas, the referee points to the canvas and say knockdown, and the count starts. The count starts from the knockout judge or the timekeeper. Those are the same people. You know what I'm saying? So I truly want you all to understand the controversy. Yeah, you don't have to believe, but you know that's criteria that you can actually research on your own. You know, it's always gonna be controversy in boxing, just like the Triple G Canelo bout. That was in a draw. And we had Bird grade the bout. This is somewhat similar. Alejandro Rochin. You know, he went in there and just had one of these absurd cards. You know, the way he scored Wilder. And I'm not sure if they're going to do an appeal or suspend him, or what. It wasn't so outrageous as Triple G and Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to have some type of some type of evidence to preface suspension. And Alana Bird, she was suspended because her card was, you know, so outrageous. A lot of the rounds that she graded, it's no way possible that it could have been won by Canelo. But that was probably Golden Boy Promotions. You know what I'm saying? That's boxing, people. That is boxing. Boxing is always a business first, people. And with business come corruption. And with corruption become a lot of unhappy people like you and I who believed that this particular boxer should have won. Period. I'm being absolutely you know, as genuine as I possibly can. What I was looking at yesterday is you know, Deontay Wilder, he doesn't study the sport of boxing. You know, when I look at him him saying he doesn't do road work. Look at how many videos you see Deontay Wilder even jump roping. A lot of that plays into, you know, how you move around the ring. Luis Ortiz has better footwork than Deontay Wilder, but Deontay was able to equalize. Tyson Fury has better footwork than Deontay Wilder, but Deontay was able to equalize it twice. But when it comes down to it, is he really going to have enough to stay undefeated as one of the best heavyweights with such poor footwork, with such poor combination setup, with such deficient, dilapidated skill set of freaking hopping in there, skipping in there to close distance and winging a right hand to try to knock somebody out that's a boxer, that has Freddie Roach in that corner, that has fluent movement? Hell no. Hell no, people. No. But every fighter has a boxing chance. You know what I'm saying? A puncher's chance. And when it comes down to it, Deontay Wilder's ring IQ is underrated because he continued to get to that point. Now, when Tyson Fury rolls up, Deontay Wilder, look on his face was in a little bit of shock and awe. He was surprised. But see, Deontay has to understand that what he exerted to lead up to that knockout wasn't as brutish that it would have been if it was early on, maybe around when he knocked out King Kong Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? You know, he might have had a little bit more power if it was early in the fight, maybe about fourth or fifth. But guess what? Tyson Fury, he was moving around. He was avoiding all those power shots Deontay Wilder was throwing. Torres said, Wilder, lucky to got $4 million. Justin Austin said, it happens in all sports, corruption. Absolutely. And shout out to Justin Austin, South Straight Talk Show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my brother. Shout out to Torres Savage, you know, supporting World Combat Sports. I appreciate it, man. Torres said, Fury Warren, smarter, got $3 million. Torres said, Wilder had Lou DiBella, Shelly Finkel. Hey, a lot of those entities that Wilder has to disperse that money to I can't imagine what that 4 million looked like when it was finished with disbursement and then taxes and everything else. Now, granted, I know Fury's out here telling everybody to attach to his mental illness and all this other storyline talking points, right? That he gave away all his 3 million. Okay, show us proof, because why would you put into a full training camp and where are you going to get the money to pay the people, the trainers? You know what I'm saying? Your managers, promoters. You giving away this money, and how do they get paid? Oh, you just going to drop in the freaking bank account that you was busy exerting? You didn't get paid that much with Francisco Pianetta, and you definitely didn't get more than 26 cents when you fought Sefer Seferi. So when it comes down to this 3 million that you got, guess what? It had to be for something to contribute to your household. It sounds good. Oh, I'm giving away to less fortunate, poverty. All of a sudden, you want to do philanthropy? Come on, man. That's $3 million. You just put in all this work with Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach don't work for free. James Stubbs, what's good? Thanks for dropping in. Salute. Justin also said the banner is fire. Hey, appreciate it, man. I'm trying to get a bit more professional there, Justin Austin. You know how it goes, man. I had to switch it up. And the reason why I had the flag up there, because I was waiting for this to get finished. So now, I have the World Combat Sports. Just try to, tighten it up a little bit, be more professional and grow the brand. But thanks for attention to detail, my brother. Torres said, not including pair trainer Olympian Mark Breland. Yeah, also medalist, Mark Breland. But Deontay has a lot of people to do what he has to do. Tyson Fury has a lot of people he has to pay also. And this too would die down. But, I just wish, that some of the other media perspectives that's on here just acting an absolute clown. I mean, I've never seen so many U.S. boxing media presence change up so much. Like, people I used to watch, and then all of a sudden they got the UK bug. Everybody want to bleed over to the UK to get that one interview. So what they're doing, they're dogging out their own people. They dogging out their own countrymen over in the U.S. to gravitate. You know what I'm saying? To say all these nice, pleasantries when it comes to straight up bias, just to cater for an interview. So when they go across the pond, they able to get these interviews supporting, Eddie Hearns, Frank Warren, and all those people that's over there with the Zone. And they're really trying to bleed over to this market with the Zone. Straight up, real talk. And you know who you are too. You just up here dogging out these American boxers, man, all of a sudden. And it's more than one of them. This what I will not accept. Like, you have people who was going for Wilder. And then Wilder went up there and it's a draw. And they get on here and talk about, well, Fury did this, Fury did that. He was just so spectacular. This, that, and that. They're just basically not even taking into accountability. These are the same people who claim they talk boxing with a big nose, a wig, and big shoes. They are straight up clown when they come up here and they talk certain opinions. And it has nothing to do with boxing. Period. Nothing. Fury outboxed Deontay Wilder. But Deontay Wilder, with his depleted skill set, still went to the 12th round. And with a 1-2 combination, a right and a left, he dropped Fury a second time. You have to give that man credit. Flat-footed, unbalanced, awkward, sporadic, deficient fundamentally. He still went 12 rounds, and Fury not one time dropped him. Who's been on the deck? Who's been on all fours? Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko, Tyson Fury, all fours. Derek Chisora, Dillian White, Dominic Brazil, all these heavyweights that other people glorify. I know I'm not the only one sitting up here doing analytics and figuring this out. But when it comes to the top tier ranking heavyweights, when have either one of them put Deontay Wilder on his ass and freaking all fours. Win. Win. If he's so depleted of skill sets and that weak, he should be easy to beat, right? If y'all sit up here glorify Tyson Fury about how good he looked and everything, but yet you was riding the fence saying, you know what, Deontay Wilder beat Tyson Fury, it's because he had that long layoff. That's why. But yet Tyson Fury looked spectacular. But now you all lap riding. Not all you. I'm talking about the ones who was riding the fence. You lap riding, buckled up, 2 seat belts, because you don't want to hop off that ride. That's not talking boxing. That's showing favoritism because you refuse to break down the fight for what it is. Tyson Fury absolutely outboxed Deontay Wilder hands down. I like what I've seen with Tyson Fury. Look at any one of my lives. I always gave Tyson Fury his ring IQ, his intelligence when it comes to just having that lineage. He has generation deeps to the Gypsy King. The man is smart and crafty and slick. He's the sweet science with Tyson Fury is just, it's beautiful to watch. The way he has that jerky motion and his hand is down by and he want to put his hands behind his back, but really no one is taking advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting up there just doing it just to get in Deontay Wilder's head. And this is why I say Deontay Wilder needs to just tighten up on his study of boxing. Because Tyson Fury forced Deontay Wilder to react. Look at the fight. I looked at the fight maybe about 5 times already. Every time Tyson Fury was clowning and doing those theatrics, Deontay Wilder seemed like, he had to get him back. Every time Fury landed, Wilder felt he had to land. Every time he did some theatrics and the crowd roared, Wilder felt like he had to shut him up. And when he closed distance to throw those looping right hands and that wild, sporadic, power punches that he was trying to set up and deliver, you can't do that on this level, Deontay. You can't do it. You're not going to be effective when it comes down to remaining undefeated your entire career. Now, granted, him versus Anthony Joshua, granted, okay? Anthony Joshua has a suspect chin. Do you believe that Anthony Joshua would have got up from the Deontay Wilder 1-2 combination in the 12th round? Do you think so? We never know. But I'll tell you what, Tyson Fury would box Anthony Joshua's ears off. Tyson Fury would box Anthony Joshua's ears off. It's a reason why Eddie Hearns is not trying. Even with a draw right now, and you seeing what Deontay Wilder looked like, Eddie Hearns is still not going to be in a haste to sign a fight with Deontay Wilder. Guarantee it. Torres Savage say managed cut 33%, trainers cut. I was just said they're talking some boxing. 10% depending on the state commission. We're about as hell. Okay. I appreciate those facts there, Torres. Justin Nelson, whoever glorify Brazil is smoking something. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? All these fighters has been sat down. You see the fight with Chisora. You see the fight with Alexander Povetkin. Dillian White, Dominique Brazil, Derek Chisora, who fought Tyson Fury twice and lost. You know what I'm saying? So he's going back in there with Dillian White because they had a memorable bout. You know what I'm saying? We all saw what happened the first time. So these are recycled bouts, recycled fights that some of these boxers are having. Ain't nobody saying anything. You want to sit up here and dilute Deontay Wilder's record, but you have no idea what consists on the other record. I gave you a breakdown of 13. Just because it's trichodecaphobia, it's unlucky. I said 13th versus 13th. Deontay Wilder's 13th. He went in there against a fighter named Harris Schooner. That's 17-20. And I think Tyson Fury had a fighter who was something like 22-37 or something. I'm not sure about the exact numbers, but that's their 13th bout. But, when it comes down to, the overall skill set, hey, Tyson Fury showed up, y'all. Gardner Payne, what's good? Salute to you. Justin Austin, hell no. Justin Austin, AJ would have been slept. Yeah, I agree there, Justin. AJ wouldn't have got up from that freaking, 12 round punch combination that Deontay landed. Justin Hearns definitely don't want Wilder still. I totally agree. Eddie Hearns will still sit up here and, make it so difficult. Even though it's 4, I know Torres said it was 4 million, 3 million to Tyson Fury. When it comes down to it, right, it goes down like this. They're going to make it about money, not the performance. But in this nomenclature, when you mesh these two fighters together, it comes down to legacy. And it just goes to show you that Eddie Hearns and them is not really concerned about legacy. Anthony Joshua is going to feel the pain with this later on in his career because his countrymen before him has did much better. In order for him to, just like it was said that he doesn't have to come over here from the UK. Well, guess what? If you never come to the United States and you believe that is what you want to stamp on your legacy, then so be it, Anthony Joshua. If you believe that you don't have to come over here to the U.S. to fight, then okay. You have to deal with that legacy. But this is a legacy fight. Undisputed. And the belt still hasn't been lifted from Deontay Wilder. The WBC is the coveted in the ranking system of the belts. As I tell you before, it's the WBF, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO. That's straight from A to D. So if Anthony Joshua wants to be undisputed and be the king at the top of the pinnacle of the heavyweight division, he has to come over here, or he has to have Deontay come over there to the UK and Wembley and fight for the undisputed title. They have to make that happen. They need that bout. Real talk. We need for this bout to happen. I've basically reviewed, countless of freaking videos when it comes to Anthony Joshua being asked about Deontay Wilder. And every time his language, it retreads itself to say, if the fine details, that means money, y'all. He's not trying to make the bout. He's going to make it as difficult as possible. Anthony Joshua isn't trying to make a legacy fight. He's trying to make it all about the monetary value that benefits him and the 35 or 40% that he has to shell out to Eddie Hearns. True words, people. Anthony Joshua always talking about fantasy vice reality. The reality, Anthony Joshua, is you're not trying to sit up here and be the best at what you're doing. You're just trying to make sure you stay in that nice, comfy greenhouse of yours. Yeah. You feel like you have everything around you is revenue orientated. You sign a 3-fight deal worth $100 million. You sign a 2-fight Wembley deal, which you have 1 remaining. And you also is a part of the zone. So you're feeling kind of secure right now. But that's all gonna, exhaust itself in a little bit. You have, 2 more fights on your 3-fight deal? You fought Alexander Povetkin. That was the first fight of your 3-fight deal. And also you have that 1 fight remaining in Wembley in April 2019. Guess what? You got to sell that out. And the only way you're going to sell that out is you have Deontay Wilder in that slot, standing across the ring for you, April 2019. That's the only way you sell out Wembley there, Anthony Joshua. Facts. Rodney Rankins, what's good, man? Thanks for dropping in. Hey, drop your comments there, Rodney. It's always good to hear what you got to say, my brother. Chris Langley, Joshua does probably beat Wilder, and it won't last long because they're both knockout punchers, but Joshua has more boxing ability. Hey, Chris Langley, that's your opinion, all right? But I totally, absolutely disagree with individuals saying Joshua will knock out Wilder, Joshua will knock out Wilder. Like I said before, Klitschko fought Anthony Joshua, and Klitschko dropped Anthony Joshua. Klitschko. Did Klitschko drop Tyson Fury there, Chris Langley? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Did Deontay Wilder do it? Yes, he did. Was he dropped by Tyson Fury? No, he wasn't. So how is Anthony Joshua all of a sudden going to go ahead and just knock out Deontay Wilder in short fashion? I understand you just, enjoying social media and the home keys at your disposal. Man, come on, man. Come on. You should have read the warning signs that Chris Langley pulling up on World Combat Sports with that nonsense. They're not both knockout punchers. Chris, I can debunk that without even breathing hard. He didn't knock out Joseph Parker. He wouldn't have knocked out Carlos Takam if the ref wouldn't have been trying to stop the fight in the 10th round. I told you all already. Alexander Povetkin had already then stopped Carlos Takam in the 10th round, man. They had to stop that in order to sell the future bout with Anthony Joshua and Alexander Povetkin. And then he goes up there and fight Joseph Parker for 12 rounds, looked terrible, and then goes in there against Alexander Povetkin, who was 39 years old, which no one wants to talk about. He bails out in the 10th round. Come on, y'all. He was giving Anthony Joshua fits in the first half of the fight. And all of a sudden, Anthony Joshua has his knockout power. Langley, you joking. Thanks for the laugh. And that was light work. That was light work for me. Torres Savage said, and you know, these people just be coming in here just wanting to say something. And it's probably not even their true account. But, you know, talking about Anthony Joshua finished Deontay Wilder is just those, you know, those gullible, casual fans that want to have fun on a Monday. Torres Savage said, Canelo, 7-year, 350 million. Yeah. Eddie Hearn, his own only equal 4.2 million per fight. Well, you know, I mean, Canelo Alvarez signed an 11-fight deal for 365 million. It is what it is, man. Mayweather made 300 million in one. Yeah, Mayweather's a cash cow, period. But, you know, I wish I was past the word to some of these freaking boxing presidents over here that want to say, okay, I'm going for Deontay Wilder because they're not sure of what Tyson Fury. I don't do that. I don't sit up here and go for Deontay Wilder, and then once Deontay Wilder performed the way he did, I get on here and glorify Tyson Fury and just dog out Deontay Wilder. No, I'm going to give you some analytics that you can take back. And when you're in there just sitting in your quiet me time, then you're able to know what I said. You can come back on this live and understand what I said. For those of you that's out here just dogging out Deontay Wilder, that's not talking boxing. That's you just going to cover your ass because you just don't know what the hell to do. You don't know how to break down the fight because you really didn't look at the entire fight. You're just going off highlights and you're seeing what everything is going on. That's not talking boxing. If you're going to just say, oh, Tyson Fury, he did a phenomenal job. He won that bout. He outboxed Deontay Wilder. But what did Deontay Wilder do that's boxing orientated with all those depleted skill sets and deficiency and stuff that he'll never improve? Why wasn't he stopped by the much better fighter that has lineage, generations deep? Why wasn't he able to stop someone like Deontay Wilder? What, Deontay Wilder's a power puncher and what? He gets knocked out? All these casuals coming here talking about he gets knocked out? Why isn't these top tier heavyweights knocking this depleted, deficient heavyweight boxer clean out? Because what you're saying, you don't even believe. Hey, Chris Langley, you telling me what you've been watching, you're only making it look worse for you. Because you're going to say you've been analyzing, analytics, whatever your review is, since 15 years old, right? For the age of 15, right? And you come up here and say, oh, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder both knockout artists. Okay, he just knocked down Fury twice, and Fury got up. Klitschko didn't knock down Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury didn't knock down Klitschko. Klitschko knocked down Anthony Joshua. And Anthony Joshua was able to knock down Klitschko 3 times in the fight. Once in the 5th round and two other times in the 11th round. So why are you coming in here talking about you've been analyzing boxing since the age of 15 and you're coming out your mouth with inaccurate statements? You're talking about you're not often wrong. Hell, I'm often wrong. You have to be wrong. I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion, but I see things how I see. Man, it's your opinion, man. I'm moving on. It's not about you anyway, man. I read your opinion, and you're just talking about Anthony Joshua's a knockout artist. When what? He hit Carlos Takam in the 10th round with a 4-punch combination and really only one landed, and the referee prematurely stopped the bout. Know that when you step up here, man, I don't have no keyboard in front of me. Know that when he fought Joseph Parker, you seen what played out in front of you. You seen it. So why are you sitting up here just because he had a go at an older, antiquated Klitschko? You're basically putting him off there as if he's the best thing ever. Anthony Joshua isn't no knockout artist. Klitschko finished the bout on his feet. The bout was stopped. He knocked Klitschko down 3 times in their fight. And Klitschko still rose up. How is he a knockout artist? Tyson was a knockout artist. Sherry said on Torrey Savage, that's exactly what happens when the lower level fighters. I'm going to skip over you, Langley. You ain't worth my time, man. Torrey said only if they go advance. And you know what? You probably somebody else on here and you scared to show your face anyway and talk boxing. You just want to sit up here and talk nonsense just for attention. I'm not even going to read your comments. Sherry Price. Torrey Savage, how do you think they live between fights? Chris Pop Sr., salute to you. Torrey said, I've been there. I know some boxers fighters have a job besides boxing. Yeah, some boxers have to support themselves, of course. Hey, Chris Lang, it is what it is, man. Hey, Shannon Hakeem Brown, Matchbout.co, salute. Thanks for dropping in, bro. Alan Felipe, it's all good. Hey, listen, Chris Langley, I can only be as honest as I possibly can. World Combat Sports, right? I pride myself in learning about combat sports, boxing and MMA. I'm not going to lecture you, my brother. I understand you're a grown man, all right? But what you're saying doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not saying it's not your opinion. It is. But I'm saying it doesn't make any sense to me to come over here and say Anthony Joshua will knock out Deontay Wilder in short fashion. When has he knocked out any of his opponents? And he just fought a 39-year-old Alexander Povetkin, a repeat drug cheat. And he only knocked him out in the 10th round there, Langley. That's what I'm trying to get across to you, man. You don't respect what I'm trying to convince you about. You're going to come in here and say they both knockout artists and freaking Anthony Joshua finished Deontay. Tyson Fury will basically box the ears off Anthony Joshua. And possibly knock him down because Anthony Joshua's chin is suspect. I respect your opinion, know that. But I'm saying the way you're coming across is just opinionated. You know, it's opinionated and it's ex parte and it really doesn't add up. Because I'm going to give you previous bouts the debunk what you're saying. That's all I'm saying. And when you look at Carlos Takam, when you look at the Joseph Parker, when you look at the Alexander Povetkin, how can you clarify Anthony Joshua as a knockout artist? All because he fought an older Vladimir Klitschko, who had already been defeated by Tyson Fury, coming off over a 1.5-year layoff with no belts. Contemplating retirement, my friend. That's all I'm saying. Torrey Savage, in facts, experience tells all. I appreciate that, man. Chris said both of them will go for it. Joshua doesn't have enough boxing ability to stay away from Wilder for 12 rounds. Okay, let me stop right there. You saying Joshua doesn't have enough boxing ability to stay away from Wilder for 12 rounds. When in fact, he stayed away from Carlos Takam enough until Carlos started freaking keeping his range and landing punches on him and had his nose bleeding before the 3rd round. And Anthony Joshua's cardio is suspect. So he's not going to go in there reckless like he did against an older Klitschko. Because he felt coming off a layoff, he'll be able to go in there and attack Klitschko and finish him. When in fact, he ended up tiring himself out. He ended up fatiguing because his cardio is suspect. You know how much he weighed against Carlos Takam? 254. Him and Eddie Hearns agreed to 235. and he outweighed that man by 20 pounds and looked bad. The referee stepped in prematurely and basically deprived Carlos Takam of going the distance with Anthony Joshua. Why? Because Eddie Hearns was planning on setting up that fight between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Povetkin. Let me continue to read your comment there, Chris. From Wilder, 12 rounds, but he does have the ability to catch him before Wilder does. I'm not sure how does that play into something. You're saying Anthony Joshua has the ability to catch Wilder. You know, you can prognosticate anything and everything when it comes to boxing. Doesn't mean it's going to play. Just like predictions. Predictions are very fragile. You know what I'm saying? If you get it right, you look the greatest. If you're wrong, you blend in with everybody else that's been wrong before you. My predictions has been wrong. Other predictions have been wrong. It's boxing. So to say that Anthony Joshua will connect on Deontay Wilder before, how? How is that possible? How can you, what is your premise? What is your evidence to validate such? Fury would outbox Anthony Joshua's ears. He would give him a boxing lesson like Floyd Mayweather gave Canelo Alvarez. Absolutely. Fury is a different animal. He's a different he cut from a different cloth. And I absolutely enjoyed watching him fight and box this past weekend. Absolutely. You know, his awkward freaking boxing style, the way he set up his punches, the way he turned them over. Deontay Wilder throws no combinations when he's on the inside. He doesn't know how to box on the inside. Fury does. Fury knows how to set up combinations. Look at the slow-mos. He's turning his punches over. And what's surprising is Deontay Wilder was never dropped. He was hit flush, but he was never dropped. You have to respect his chin. Anthony Joshua isn't knocking out Deontay Wilder. Anthony Joshua is worried about he himself getting knocked out by Deontay Wilder. The one positive that Anthony Joshua, now you take it for instance, right? Side by side comparisons. Just take Tyson Fury's boxing skill set and people, pretty much glorifying what they've seen. And he put on a great performance, all right? You take Tyson Fury and you take Anthony Joshua. Who would you say get the job done more effectively when it comes to straight up boxing skills, mano a mano? Because boxing doesn't have a template. Boxing is a sweet science for a reason. Anthony Joshua may look aesthetically for others to just sit up here and say, let me latch on to Anthony Joshua because his aesthetics and his physical physique. It takes more than that for boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's more than that, y'all. It takes more than that. They have him taking pictures as a model over there in the UK. They're basically sipping on Anthony Joshua like he's a freaking mocha. Like he's a freaking smoothie. They're getting every freaking thing out of him possibly. That's why you see him going through these transformations. He's all shredded and ripped because he's doing his modeling stuff over there. They have him taking pictures. They have him as the golden child in the face of the zone. That's all I'm saying. Anthony Joshua is overrated. You get these same people that's on here glorifying Tyson Fury, and then when he goes up against Anthony Joshua, they'll sit up here and criticize Tyson Fury because they want to sit up here and jump on the bandwagon of Anthony Joshua. That's not talking boxing. That is not talking boxing, period. Chris say, literally think about it. If Tyson Fury can't survive 12 rounds, and I knew Fury would beat Vladimir, I know he's the best boxer at heavyweight. How can Joshua think he could try for a points victory? In order for you to try for a points victory against someone like Tyson Fury, first of all, you have to have decent cardio. And from what I've seen with Tyson Fury, his cardio supersedes that of Anthony Joshua any day of the week. We seen him with Alexander Povetkin. His cardio was suspect. You know what I'm saying? And Alexander Povetkin is 39 years old. Tyson Fury is only 30 years old, people. He's younger than Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's like 33 years old. His window is narrowing. But when it comes down to skill sets Anthony Joshua, he's very robotic. If you look at the Klitschko, I've looked at that fight so many times. Every time Klitschko feinted, Anthony Joshua flinched and reaction. He got a reaction. He was setting up his timing. And finally in the 5th round, Klitschko was able to connect because he was setting up the timing. And Joshua gave him that reaction he was looking for. Now granted, Klitschko was dropped 3 other times in the fight. One in the 6th round and the other 2 times in the 11th round. A minute 45 and then somewhat like 45 seconds left. A minute 16 left in the 11th round. And then the fight was stopped like 45 seconds in the 11th round. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Skip Crumpler, box father on deck, man. Salute to you, Skip. Thanks for dropping in, man. Anthony Joshua, hey Chris, I can't prognosticate. You know, I've seen Anthony Joshua on his feet, right? For 12 rounds. I've seen him on his feet. You know, he was able to weather the storm against older Klitschko, which is what more so Anthony Joshua, Klitschko looking good. It was more so Anthony Joshua looking bad. Anthony Joshua, being a young lion, to me, should have performed much better than he did against Vladimir. That's in my opinion. Joseph Parker, he went the distance. He was on his feet. Alexander Povetkin, he took punishment. He wasn't dropped, but, you know, Alexander was in his face, closing distance, landing punches effectively. And guess what? He was able to get him up out in 10 rounds. So we have 2 different heavyweight potentials. And Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. I believe either one of these 2 defeats Anthony Joshua. Anthony has to prove to me and other boxing fans that he can weather the storm that he's trying to prevent. Anthony Joshua's doing anything and everything, him and Eddie Hearns, not trying to visit a dangerous fight because it will basically mess up every opportunity for them to continue to receive this residual revenue that's coming in from the zone and everything else that they have going over there across the pond. Anthony Joshua is the cash cow, man. So every time he says fine details, that tells me he isn't trying to cement a legacy. He just want to make it difficult and make it about money, but lie and say Deontay won't sign the contract. You remember when they was coming to NYC and Jarrell Miller got in his face and was talking about his mom and calling him a kitty cat in so many words? You know they saying they was coming over here so they can sign the contract that Deontay didn't sign, right? Guess who signed that contract? Eddie Hearns did. You know why Eddie Hearns say he signed it? Because he owns Anthony Joshua. When a man tells you that he owns you, it's absolutely most disrespectful when it comes to the sport of boxing. Because there is such thing as prize fighting. But also, when you talk about ownership of another man, a human being, in front of the lens of media, it becomes very, very present of inferiority. You know what I'm saying? It becomes distasteful and it just kind of presents a different picture. Torres says Fury's cashing out in the United Kingdom now. I would like to see Tyson Fury go over there and fight Anthony Joshua. Leonard versus Hagler, yeah. You know, the only thing about Leonard, when he came back and fought Hagler, he made that man switch up for a reason. Leonard came back 84 to 87. He ended up, having freaking a southpaw like Hagler abandon his old fight plan, which he was known for. People was like up in arms, like, man, why is Hagler not fighting the way he used to? Say what it is, controversial, whatever. Sugar Ray Leonard wasn't to be messed with. It's crazy if you can come off a hiatus and people still think you're a threat and a danger. And that's what Sugar Ray did to Hagler. Richard Rivera, Pop Out the Sailor Man, salute. Thanks for dropping through, man. And salute on your congrats on your win, man. Torres Saris, 1 year the Giant fans, next year they the 49ers fans, following year Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, they switch it up, man. What's going on the box father Skip Crumpler, man? Thanks for dropping in. Kedar, thanks for dropping through. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I had to say. I just wanted to get on here. Absolutely appreciate In the Ring with Christine, us having a dialogue about the post fight. And as I would mention again there, fight fans and those fighters who's dropping through. Deontay Wilder, he landed 71 out of 430 shots. He was more active. Fury, he landed 84 out of 327. Deontay Wilder executed 100 plus more punches than Tyson Fury. Look on the stats. That's not me. That's the stats from the fight. You know what I'm saying? Jabs. Deontay Wilder landed 40. Tyson Fury landed 46, people. That's not dominating the fight. Just because you're looking at Tyson Fury doing the bout, and every time he throws a bout is not exactly what's really going on if you look at the fight over and over again and see what the judges are looking at. That's not my numbers. That's the numbers off the official stat sheet. And then power shots. Deontay Wilder, Chris, is a freaking, the heaviest puncher, right? But he only landed 31 power shots to Tyson Fury's 38. Tyson Fury threw 104 power shots and only landed 38. Deontay Wilder threw 182 and only landed 31. Man, I hope y'all come on, this World Combat Sports, man. I just don't get on here and just ramble on, man. I love what I do. I make sure I do my research and I talk that. I talk it up, man. I talk that sport of boxing. You have access to keyboards. Go and look at what I'm talking about, man. Because at the end of the day, I want you to pass the word that when I jump on here, I know what the heck's going on with MMA and boxing. And, pass the word so I can grow my brand. All I ask is you respect what I'm doing, man. Don't think I'm just a freaking guy on here just talking about. Yes, a lot of it's my opinion or whatever. I'm talking about the facts of boxing. That's all I'm saying. I'm not competing with anybody. I like learning. Chris said, never thought about the zone aspect, but I think they have to fight against Povetkin. His stock went down even in the UK. Well, he finished Povetkin in the 10th round. So his stock didn't go down. It just proves, like I was telling a lot of Anthony Joshua casuals that refused to get on live with me and have a boxing dialogue. I was telling you, he only sold out Wembley with Klitschko, people. You all up here just talking about he sell out Wembley like he's fighting there when he's fighting in Principality. O2. You know what I'm saying? You keep acting like when the time he fought Klitschko, they was up here saying he's selling out 100,000, arena. The only other time he fought in Wembley was against a fighter called Matt Legg. And no one has an idea or a clue as to who that fighter was. When he fought Alexander Povetkin, that was the 3rd time he ever fought in Wembley Stadium. And he didn't sell it out. That's facts. Tori said, my homeboy Sugar Ray Leonard, Palmer Park, Maryland. And Javante Tank Davis, Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah, that's what's up. Tori said, Chris, get your game up. Chris, never thought about the zone. Hey, Chris, don't take it personal with me, man. I just, when I see people get on here talking about knockouts this, knockouts that, it just don't do anything for me because I'm gonna peel back layers that I know for a fact. It's not gonna be opinion. It's gonna be fights, assessment of fights. That's how I do my research. And you have to tell people that. Everybody's on here wanting to talk boxing, but you have a lot of U.S. boxing media that's influenced by trying to get in good with the zone. Because the UK, they're trying to bleed over a lot over here. They're trying to dilute social media. Believe me, they did it with me several times. They wanted me to take down World Combat Sports and do it up under their banner, trying to make all these carrot wolf tickets. I'm telling you, it's going down, people. So what I do, I had to block them. Because you're not going to continue to drop inbox me and stuff like that. And you want me because I'll be an asset wherever. But you're not going to sit up here and dangle this nonsense and control and edit and censor what I say to your liking under your banner. You don't want to support World Combat Sports, so be it. But my writing, my knowledge, and everything I do in media is all me. People have teams and teleprompters that they read off of. They put stuff in front of the phone or whatever, and they read off stuff like a robot. And some people just sit there and cuss people out all day. And they claim they talk boxing. You ask them a simple question, they go to the comments. Oh, Justin Austin, why you said that, Justin? That's what they do. You acting like Buddy. You know what I'm saying? Instead of them answer the question, they deflect it and talk about somebody in the comments for Torrey Savage, why you say that? That's fucked up you said that. Watch, man. But they'll be quick to hate on me talking about I'm boring, but they won't jump their ass on this live. I'll tell you that. They won't do it. I'm not talking about people getting on here, you know, as you saw recently, you know, they try to bring this guy on here to talk supposedly boxing. And he's trying to say that Klitschko passed the torch to Anthony Joshua when Klitschko didn't have any belts. That's fact. He didn't have any torch to pass. And he just sit up here calling, you know, jump to obscenities and vulgarity. That means you're emotional. Because I want to have a conversation with somebody that want to talk the sport. If you mad for my knowledge base being the way it is, you don't have to come on my live. But you can't sit up here and say I don't know what I'm talking about. I try to be effective when it comes to MMA and boxing. Period. It's respect. Just like Justin Austin. When it comes to him speaking basketball, football, and those sports and everything, I'm talking about like A, B, and C, and duh. He knows what the hell is going on, and he reverberated as such. That's what I'm talking about. You do your research, and you go over here and talk it. Hey, Chris, man, it's all good, Chris. I don't know who you are, bro. This is the first time I seen you on my live, man. And you know what? It's not personal because I don't even know you. But know this, Chris, that I don't have any keyboards. I do hashtag no keyboards. And it wasn't personal. I was just saying, you know, when it comes down to this knockout thing people love to talk about, prove it. It goes for Deontay Wilder. When people are talking about Deontay Wilder, knockout artist, I have stuff to go off of with Deontay. You know why? Because he's had 39 of his opponents all go out via knockout. So I have substance to validate Deontay Wilder being a knockout artist. I don't have that with Anthony Joshua. That's what I'm saying. I don't have that with Anthony Joshua. Because he isn't a knockout artist. You're not a knockout artist just because you went up there and finished Dillian White, Dominique Brazil, you know, Martin, all those guys who's been knocked out for fun. But when you increase your competition, you was on all fours. Chris said, well, I mean, opposition-wise, they couldn't sell 100,000 after like Povetkin was maybe 80,000. Well, you know, if you hear the videos, you know, Eddie Hearns was basically, you know, doing his little deal with third-party purchases. You know, he would buy a boatload of tickets and sell them to third parties and stuff just to keep the numbers all nice and fluffy to make it seem like Anthony Joshua. But they didn't sell out Wembley Stadium, point blank, period. But I think that's it for me. Hey, those of you that's on here on my live, I absolutely appreciate it each and every time. Hopefully, you know, it was informative and everything. I respect everybody that jump on here and has conducive content to talk about. But know this, that I do my due diligence and research because that's how I want the respect to go. That's it. Pass the word. Support World Combat Sports. Facebook, IG, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm trying to be consistent on YouTube. I'm going to start doing a lot more videos on YouTube. I haven't really started. You know, I got some videos out there. Y'all go subscribe to World Combat Sports, you know, channel, man. I'm trying to grow that channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my IG followers up to like 10,000, man, before 2019 is over with. I need to grow that IG so I can start going live on there and also have some, some good boxing discussions. You know what I'm saying? Man, Steph Curry out here blazing up freaking Hawks. Man, I ain't gonna even talk about it. The Hawks gets no play on my live. No play. Period. The Atlanta Falcons, no play. Chris said, well, I think his style usually been to just get the job done, but now he fights differently in order to just make sure he wins the fight to keep the money in. And that's his point. It's not legacy fights. That's just making sure you play it safe and you make it very difficult for those who you choose to make it. That's going to be somewhat a tough competitive bout for you. That's what's going on with Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Those that are massive risks out of their own mouths. Massive risks mean you're very optimistic about making that bout. So you're gonna make the negotiation process as difficult as possible. And it doesn't even have to be complex, but you're gonna dread it in that direction because mentally you want to break that fighter down. That's why Eddie Hearns attempted to force influence Deontay Wilder with a contract to say he had to sign the bout to face Anthony Joshua April 2019 before December 1st. That's facts, man. He tried to basically put that extra needed weight on Deontay Wilder's mental state. And another thing I want to tell y'all, Deontay Wilder came in weighing 212 because they had him doing a lot of media. Just like they did Tyson. They had him doing a lot of media. And he came in 212 because he was up, running, talking. And goddamn it, he wasn't in the best shape he was. He wasn't in that same shape he was with Ortiz. Seriously. They had him going around doing all this media to sell this PPV. And he lost some weight. All they did was, just like he said, he has a nutritionist. And they was keeping his diet right. That's it. You can keep your diet right all day long, but when you get in there, you have to do that cardio, man. Justin said, I'm just on the facts of Steph Curry versus Trae Young comparison. He couldn't wait to... Well, Steph Curry, a man that has 3 rings, is trying to dump on Trae Young, a rookie. Hey, that's just boss. That's just him saying, hey, man, there's levels to this, man. Welcome, Trae. Welcome. Welcome to the Steph Curry show. Yeah, I'm going to be shooting just inside the half court. Yeah. Hey, Taurus. Hey, go back to read Wall Street. That's always good, man. Education is always good. But y'all, I'm out. This is, it was a pleasure. But I'm out. I have to get to what I got to do or whatever. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all for tuning in. And share the video, man. Share the video. And also, pass the word about World Combat Sports so I can get more interaction on these lives, man. I appreciate y'all, for dropping through. Thank you for your content, especially the ones that always show up. And we'll talk, man. Salute.